Hello, good morning, and I'm here again at Meadowhall, hoping to complete today the railway stations in South Yorkshire in this part 4. I'm heading now to call at Elsecar and then Wombwell to complete all the stations between here and Barnsley. And I'm starting off here at Meadowhall because I'll be returning to Meadowhall so that I can take the train via Dearne to complete all the stations on that line this afternoon. So this is Elsecar, opened in 1897 by the Midland Railway Company. There are 2 platforms and there is step-free access by the ramps up onto the bridge. There's also another entrance behind me to the car park, as this is used as a park and ride station for Sheffield. Platforms here used to be much longer. You can see where they've raised the height of the platforms for that is still in use. It does look as though that platform at the other side used to be an island platform, as there's space behind for another line to run. For a time, Elsecar used to be known as Elsecar and Hoyland, Hoyland being another village in close vicinity to the station. Services here all run by Northern. There's an hourly service on the Penistone Line from Sheffield to Huddersfield, and also an hourly service from Sheffield to Leeds on the Hallam Line, Monday to Saturdays. Sundays, 2 hourly service on each of the lines. Does mean that on a Sunday there's still an hourly service to Sheffield. And now here at Wombwell. Not got long here before next train back to Meadowhall, but Wombwell opened again in 1897 like Elsecar. Same service pattern, but all run by Northern. Just outside the station itself we've got a plaque telling us about the history of the station, how in the 1950s and 1960s this was known as Wombwell West, as there was a second station, Wombwell Central, on the Great Central Line between Doncaster and Penistone. That Great Central Line though ran mainly between Barnsley and Doncaster. Even though Wombwell station is one not too far from where I grew up, it's one that I have never visited before. Like Elsecar, step-free access. An hourly service on the Penistone and on the Hallam line. It's a quick change here at Meadowhall. My train's actually on its way in, picking up the service here towards Leeds via Dearne. Shame that Northern can't keep the windows clean. And here I am at Thurnscoe. This is the last station in South Yorkshire on the Dearne Valley Line, and is where I grew up, about 100 yards from the station. The station here opened May 1988 and is one of two stations opened on the line at the same time by British Rail. This and Goldthorpe were sponsored by South Yorkshire Passenger Transport Executive, the stations being of timber construction way back in 1988, and nothing much has changed since. Still only two platforms. You've got the bus stop type shelters. What we do have here now are ticket machines that we didn't have way back when the station first opened. Services here are northern, and there's one in each direction every hour between Sheffield and Leeds via Wakefield Westgate. There's also one additional service from Sheffield that calls here on its way to York in the peak morning. The line here was originally built by the Swinton and Nottingley Joint Railway, but there was no station here at Thurnscoe or Goldthorpe. Originally stations were at Bolton on Dearne for Goldthorpe and at Frickley, which is further down the line towards Moorthorpe. South Yorkshire Passenger Transport Executive decided that the fall in numbers on the services from Sheffield to York, but an increase in passenger numbers on the Sheffield to Leeds line via Hallam, they were looking for an alternative route and decided to sponsor this Sheffield to Leeds via Dearne, with the opening of two additional stations on the route. here on the station, platform 1, an information plaque. Unfortunately, it's not quite correct. It's talking about the station history, that the station hotel was built before the station. There used to be a pub hotel just up from the current station. What it fails to mention is that that was actually for a previous station located in the village, Hickleton and Thurnscoe station, which was on a different line to the current station. It's not very clear, but actually in the top right of this sign you can see where the original station was, on the opposite side of the road. And I've come the one stop down the line to Goldthorpe. It's less than a mile away. If you stand on the other platform, you can just about see Thurnscoe station. It's the same wooden timber construction as Thurnscoe, opened at the same time, same reason. The next station I'm going to is Bolton on Dearne, which is just over a mile walk away, and as the next train is now an hour, I'm going to walk there. I'm going to grab a drink on my way down as well. So I'll see you down at Bolton on Dearne. And here I am at Bolton on Dearne station. Got about 20 minutes before my train's due. We're going to be heading over to the other side of the station. Back when I was growing up, none of this step-free access bridge and steps were in place, just the bridge that I'm currently stood on. And as with most of these South Yorkshire stations these days, we have a map of the station. So the station here was opened by the Swinton and Nottingley Joint Railway in 1879. Originally called Hickleton, but Hickleton's a few miles down the road. It was quickly renamed Bolton on Dearne. It was also changed again then in the 1920s to Bolton on Dearne for Goldthorpe. Later to change back just to Bolton on Dearne, and then in 2008 its name was changed again to the current Bolton upon Dearne. which is when the station was significantly rebuilt. Platforms definitely upgraded from when I was a teenager. It was more of a stone construction rather than the brick that it is today. There was no station car park. It was just a short path down onto the platform from the main road. Same service pattern from here as Goldthorpe on Thurnscoe, as in all operated by Northern, and Monday to Saturday an hourly service Sheffield to Leeds via Wakefield Westgate. It does have a couple of additional services call here on the way to York. They operate at peak time. Sunday service every 2 hours. And I'm here at the last but one station in South Yorkshire at Swinton. Current station here, 3 platforms on interchange between Dearne Valley Line and the line from Sheffield to Doncaster by Mexborough and Conisbrough. This station opened in 1990, but the original station on the line here actually opened in 1840 and was situated where the car park is. That then eventually closed and a new station was opened further down the line, about 100 yards down the line north of here. Again, that station was closed in the late 1960s when the services in South Yorkshire were rationalised. That station served Sheffield Leeds via Cudworth, a line which is now no longer in use. There was also a third station at Swinton that is long since closed, which was on the line from Barnsley to Doncaster, and that was built by the Great Central Railway. Current station here, built by British Rail, opened 1990. All services here run by Northern on both the Dearne Valley Line and the Sheffield to Doncaster line. Additionally, we've got cross-country and Transpennine Express services that pass through the station. So I've finally made it to my final station in South Yorkshire, Rotherham Central. Station here opened in 1987, shortly before the closure in 1988 of Rotherham Masborough. So there are actually 4 platforms here at Rotherham Central. 2 of them are for the Sheffield Supertram. The services run from Parkgate through to Sheffield City Centre. The overhead electrics are part of the Supertram network, not mainline trains. The 2 tram platforms are there at the end. They're slightly lower than the standard train platforms and shorter, but can accommodate the trams. Rotherham has had a number of stations over the years, as well as here at Rotherham Central. Rotherham and Masborough, and Rotherham Masborough. It's been proposed for an additional station at Rotherham Parkgate to serve the out-of-town shopping centre. And here we've got one of the tram train coming through platform 1. And that's me finished for the old stations in South Yorkshire. Hope you join me again when I'll embark on another adventure in another county. See you then.